A rider who didn't even have a ride 2 weeks before the season started is now sitting atop the 125 class with a 27-point lead. He could be the first privateer to win a title. While Brown stays consistent at the top, everyone below is playing a game of merry-go podium. Coming into round 5, Ivan Tedesco and Josh Grant have displaced Grant Langston and Mike Alessi for the 2nd and 3rd spots. This championship series is far from over. A beautiful day for motocross here at Red Bud, a rite of passage on 4th of July weekend. This AMA Motocross Championship presented by FMF. And as always, this OLN telecast presented by Parts Unlimited. Everybody always has a great time at Red Bud for the Monster Energy Kawasaki Red Bud National in Buchanan, Michigan. The 125 class stop number 5 of 12. I'm Robbie Floyd with David Bailey. We'll hear from Miss Erin Bates in just a moment. David, this is a rite of passage here, 4th of July weekend. I mean, they come from all over to have a great time in motocross.
Everything is perfect, too, Robbie. First of all, I think this might be the biggest crowd I've ever seen at a motocross race, and the track is perfect. I can't wait for this gate to drop.
And there's some of the top players right there. Ivan Tedesco, Grant Langston, a couple of Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki riders, but some young names in the 05 season, including Mike Alessi.
I don't think the last 2 rounds have gone the way he would like at Southwick and then Budds Creek, so he spent a lot of time here testing. I think even though this is his first time here as a professional, he's been here plenty and he's ready for this track.
Mike Brown's been here a day or two. Let's go down to Erin Bates first.
Is Mike Brown truly a privateer? Well, he took the overall win at Budds Creek last race. In fact, he was the last privateer to take a win other than Larry Ward here at Red Bud in 2001. Even though Mike's receiving his bikes from a local dealership, he just got a hefty bill for $27,000 to have Pro Circuit do his motor and suspension. Mike used to have his rig parked over in the privateer section, but now he's nestled up right behind the factory Honda pit. We'll see what happens from there. He's been talking to Eric Kehoe, getting a little support. Is he truly a privateer? We caught up with him earlier. Here's what he had to say.
No, I'm a privateer. You know, you do see Eric over here a lot, but they're just here to help if I need any bolts or nuts or screws or whatever, you know, they'll help me out. But no, I mean, I am full privateer. You know, I ride for a motorcycle shop and I ain't getting no support from nobody but the motorcycle shop. And when I came into this thing, you know, I wasn't planning on being the fastest rider out there or winning every moto or doing this or that. I just wanted to be consistent and, you know, hopefully I can keep it like that the rest of the year, just going out there and, you know, if I can finish in top 3 every moto, that'd be great, or win a moto here and there.
As we take a look at the overall points right now, Mike Brown, 164 points, fresh off that victory at our last stop. I mean, that's the way you do it. You want to win championships, stay up at the top all the time, no problem.
You can see he's got a pretty good gap back to 2nd place. And, you know, the way things started out for Alessi, I thought, oh, man, this kid's going to get a lot of starts. And he may just walk away with the championship. But the way he struggled in the last couple of rounds, Brown has got a really firm grip on his title and the experience to hang on to.
And Grant Langston, a former national champion, suffering from an ankle injury. Is he back? Is he 100%? Well, we've seen it before. He doesn't have to be 100% to win.
Yeah, he rides. You know, I don't think it really matters where his health is, whether he's sick, injured. He's got the heart of a lion. He goes fast no matter what.
And those practice time, Matt Walker's definitely the fastest out there. I mean, much faster than the rest of the crew out there. And we talked to Josh Grant after that moto win.
I'm looking forward to like an overall win. That's my next step. You know, I'm not too big on you know, expecting a lot from myself, but hopefully it'll be good.
You know, it was last year that Josh Grant got his first podium here at Red Bud, coming off a moto win. He's ready to attack this track, which is fantastic, by the way. I mean, it's a never-ending series of awesome technical stuff. They hauled in over 100 truckloads of sand and awesome dirt to keep the dust down and not have to water and have it all slick. It's perfect. I wish I was racing today.
As we take a look at the Honda starting grid, Mike Brown on the Honda first pick. He's our series points leader, done well here, as you saw. Champion as well as Ricky Carmichael, the 250s last year in 04. I mean, this is a long track, though, a mile and 3/4. That's getting on up there.
Yeah, it seems like it goes on forever, but all of it is fun. And of course, you've got LaRocco's Leap to see if these 125s can get over it.
It's going to be a struggle, but who knows? With the 4 strokes, anything can happen. 125cc Moto number 1 is underway. Who's going to get the start? Looks like Kawasaki on the inside.
Yeah, looking good for Pro Circuit. Alessi right up in there again. In the white on the outside on the Honda. Andrew Short up in there as well. So the same 4 or 5 guys keep nailing the starts.
Grant Langston with the start. There's Alessi, look for him. He's looking for a pass. Reaches for a couple of tear-offs. Didn't get him the first time around. Alessi trying to get by the number 30 Kawasaki. Almost slides out right there.
Hey, look to his inside. He looks around quite a bit, but he's just making sure that what moves he wants to make, that he's not going to collide with anyone.
Ivan Tedesco sits just in front of him. 2 Kawasaki's leads the KTM. And this is about as smooth as it's going to get. David Bailey gets worse from here. Those braking bumps going down the downhill just get crazy at the end of the day.
That section is really rough in practice. They didn't smooth it out very much from yesterday, so it's one of the rougher sections on the racetrack. This is a triple here that not very many riders were able to get over. And approaching one of the newer sections up into the trees here. Langston looks back. It always makes you feel good to see your teammate on you. If that was Alessi, he'd be a little bit more careful with coming into the corners, worried about getting front wheel over his foot.
And you lead to something. I know on Supercross these guys, and even motocross, these guys will practice with each other a lot. But Grant and Ivan, they get along with each other, and it's a good thing to know that your buddy's not going to stuff you in a corner where I can't say that about Alessi, you know, and Tedesco going at it.
Or Short. Short will get in there and
we've seen that before.
Yeah.
Speaking of Short, our last stop, we saw Short get the bad end of the stick. He got a little love tap from Broc Hepler, but Hepler gave it to him at the Houston Supercross round. So these guys, they're not afraid to swap some plastic out there. Hopefully, nice, clean, smooth racing here. 2 Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Honda in the top 4.
Not much movement right now. They put down a little bit of water on the racetrack. Usually the first lap is you just want to be a little bit careful. Oh, Alessi jumps off the track.
And he's still on the outside. He cannot gain an advantage. He comes back on where he left him, but a little bobble there. It just looked like his momentum carried him outside. He's lucky he didn't go down there.
Yeah, they just, like I was saying, the first lap is usually the wettest. And, you know, unless you've got a really good line on somebody, they tend to be a little bit more careful, get a lap in the books, pull their tearaways, and then go racing.
But you can see just how, you know, many fans are lined up on the hillsides. I mean, 4th of July weekend, a great time to come out and have a good time watching and racing motocross. And right now, Mike Alessi's trying to make up that ground he lost when Ivan Tedesco in second.
This section right here, the famous stand whoops, man, that takes a lot of energy. And right now, these guys have plenty of it, but it's getting hotter and hotter as we speak. And by the second moto, it's just going to be a death march through that section. It's getting rougher by the lap.
Typically, I would say in whoops, also, it's usually the big guy that can power his way through them. But with Alessi being so small and light, maybe it's an advantage to him. He can maybe float over on the top. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can't figure out it. When I watch Alessi ride, I can't figure out his style. I can't figure out all he does is just keep a good momentum everywhere, and he's got a huge desire to win. So, you know, you can't really pinpoint anything on Alessi because he'll always prove you wrong.
Red Bull Alpine Star KTM of Mike Alessi in third. Again, still going for that points battle. Alessi currently sits in 4th place with Grant Langston behind him in this overall championship. We have not seen Mike Brown come into the picture yet. And you know Brownie's trying to work his way up. He doesn't want to have to fight his way through the pack because anything can happen there. And boy, that downhill, you can see guys when they're bringing their legs off of the pegs, it's going to get a little scary.
Still kind of wondering where Millsaps and Hepler are. The start really playing a big role in this championship. You just can't get a bad start anymore and find your way to the front very quick. There's so much depth in this class.
And Ivan Tedesco sits in second. He sits in second for the championship, only 27 points down. And right now, he's making ground on Mike Brown. AMA Motocross Championships on OLN have been brought to you by Suzuki. Lightweight, superior power, incredible handling. It's why champions choose Suzuki. By Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. And by the world's largest off-road specialist, Rocky Mountain MC. Get ready. Welcome back to Red Bud Track and Trail. I'm Robbie Floyd with David Bailey. We're in the midst of the 125cc Moto number 1. And points leader Mike Brown having to fight his way through the pack, currently in 16th place with that Jim's Motorcycle Sales Honda. So the points leader struggling right now, David. He's losing a ton of points.
Well, you know, right now he is, but this is where Mike has to understand and remember from all of his experience that there's still a long ways to go in the moto, and you just keep passing people one by one. He's got Nathan Ramsey right up there ahead of him, that far back in the pack. I noticed with Hepler, Millsaps, Walker, you know, a lot of good riders back there around 20th. So you just got to be patient, pass everybody you can, and know that he'll be up there where he belongs by the end of the moto.
Here's our race for second place. Now Mike Alessi on the orange bike trying to get by on the inside. Ivan Tedesco on the green Kawasaki. holding position. Alessi looks to be a little bit faster, or he may be just taking some different lines. Oh, flailing there. Alessi's going to get a good drive up this uphill.
Look at that. They both just throw the bike over the opposite way. Alessi's got the inside line, the better line for sure. He stepped that up because Robbie just never follows. That's what I like about this kid. He reminds me a little bit of James Stewart and the way Carmichael raced in their classes. And they don't hesitate. They don't follow. They don't just go, well, let me settle in here and see how things go. He can't do that because Short back there is lurking. He'll take over both of them if they make any mistakes.
Yeah, look at Andrew Short back in fourth place. We saw him up there in podium position at our last stop at Budds Creek. Hepler unfortunately went for the front wheel, but he's showing you he's definitely fast enough again.
Saw how soft that corner was down there at the bottom at the approach to the Rocco's Leap, which is the big reason why these guys aren't able to jump it this year during the moto. I saw Tedesco and Short actually airing it out in practice, but that corner is nice and soft, and they just can't quite get the run they need. Too risky.
You see Josh Grant in the picture as well. There's Grant Langston. Mike Alessi just behind, rider number 800. And I believe Erin Bates has Mike Alessi's mechanic now.
Paul, it looks like Mike's had a couple of weeks to recuperate his shoulder. Is he back to being 100%?
Yeah, he's pretty close to being 100%. He's trying real hard. He tries even if it's not 100%. So he's just a kid, and he's learning out there. He's doing pretty damn good today.
He's a young kid. He heals up a lot quicker.
Yeah, he heals up pretty good. So he's trying.
He's just learning.
I love Paul's, you know, he's just campaigning for the kid. Hey, man, you know what? He's not winning, but he's doing good, you know, and he's right. He doesn't have to win every moto. I mean, he set the bar pretty high for himself by going out and winning at Mount Morris the way he did and leading that moto at the opening round before Langston plowed into him. I'm wondering, with this scenario, here we got the same two guys that clobbered each other in the last turn of the first race. I wonder if he's kind of waiting till the end going, I don't want to pass him and give him a chance to retaliate.
And what about Josh Grant now starting to stick his nose there? He got a taste of victory. I mean, that first victory, whether it be a moto or an overall, you know, I mean, that's everything, David. You've been there before. Now he has really, you know, stuck his nose in there. He's in the picture now.
Yeah, I saw his dad, you know, earlier just kind of wandering around. Had a little bit of kind of a quiet confidence going, man, this is where Josh really got it figured out last year. He liked this track, coming off the moto win. He's ready to go. As a matter of fact, I saw him getting over LaRocco's Leap earlier as well. So he's got the speed, and he's in a good position right here to put himself in a good moto spot here to win the overall today.
And where was it a year ago? I mean, we'd see him get a good start, but he just couldn't hold on to those positions. Now we're seeing him get the starts and staying out in front. Number 35 is who we're talking about. Josh Grant closing in on a factory Honda rider just in front of him, Andrew Short, and taking a different outside line. Boy, that's no man's land out there, just another foot to the outside.
Actually, it turns out pretty good, though. I mean, you'd think, why would you want to go that wide? But
smooth.
It's a lot smoother. He's able to carry a lot of speed. And from looking at Josh's picture there, he kind of looks a little bit chubby cheeks, kind of young, and like maybe needs to grow out of that baby fat. Don't be deceived by how he looks, man. That kid he's lasting. Just when I think he might fade a little bit, he gets even stronger. So he has definitely learned his lessons about how to get through the motos from last year.
See, bounce that section there really closes in on Andrew Short. We're going to take a look back at what happened to Ryan Hughes, though. He was in the picture just a moment ago, and what happened to Rhino here? Oh,
that is not good. Luckily, the bike missed him.
One of them did.
Yeah. That's just classic Rhino, man. When he crashes, he doesn't mess around.
And just wicking it on that
That's high speed. Your
yeah.
Fourth gear coming into that corner. That's the left-hander before LaRocco's Leap, and he got crossed up into those braking bumps. And, you know, that doesn't happen unless you're pushing hard. If you go down there at a reasonable speed, it's not that bad. But I guarantee that Rhino was trying to make up for a start and get up into the battle. He was back in around 7th or so, and that's not good enough for him, but that's the price you pay when you push the edge.
Stuff like that happens on downhills, especially that front end waiting, that back end trying to pass you. And
if he wasn't so strong, and all those years of training, that he wouldn't have got up. He'd be in the back of Doc Feldner's mule right now. I think he'll be okay.
Just say no to the Astor Mobile Medic unit as we look at the lead between Grant Langston just ahead of Mike Alessi. Little Supercross action there as they make the downside. And you can see just how loose it is in certain sections. I love the dirt here at Red Bud.
Oh, it's perfect. It's so much nicer than it was when I used to race here. You know, the track is wide. They've added a lot of new sections to it. It's got just enough Supercross mixed in with some natural stuff. And, you know, it's kind of interesting for the spectators, too, because it covers so much ground. You can't see certain sections. You just hear the crowd. And it's kind of exciting, really. It's intriguing to wonder what happened over on the other side of the hill.
Also, elevation changes. It's definitely not a flat racetrack. Everything you'd want in a motocross track. Grant Langston has an orange KTM in his rearview mirror. That's Mike Alessi and Ivan Tedesco in third. The question is Mike Alessi just waiting for a mistake? Is he biding his time with only a few more laps remaining? You better stick with us and find out. Right now, it's Langston in front. Back 1987 from right here at Redbud. And two riders look back at the past. Eddie Warren, Mickey Diamond. When was the last time you said those two names?
Well, actually, they come up pretty often. Eddie Warren was a fantastic rider from the Michigan area. If it was muddy, forget it. He was going to win. But on this particular day, it wasn't muddy enough. Diamond, with his great time in Supercross, working his way through the doubles, they were a little bit more technical. If you look at the speed right here, it's like, man, why are they going so slow? We were fast back then, but the tracks were a bit more technical. And Mickey Diamond was the guy that could ride a technical track better than everyone else, it would seem.
And in '87, he would get his second 125 Motocross Championship. We're looking for guys maybe with their first here in 2005 for AMA Motocross. And Ivan Tedesco looking for his first championship. He's back in third right now. Also, Andrew Short, his first.
Yep, Short's been closing in a little bit. I saw Stanton over on the hill pacing back and forth going, come on, you can do it. And Tedesco can feel that pressure now. And, you know, it's towards the end of the race when riders start to really push. They're not holding back like they were in the first couple of laps. So this is where your training pays off. You got some pressure, or when you're trying to make a move and it's at the end of the race when you're tired, your concentration goes just like that.
And you start paddling with that inside foot there, just a little bumble, causing him position. He looks back and goes, man, why did I do that?
Yeah, that's 2 points, what that amounts to, unless he can get up there and get it back. But the energy it would take to get that position back put a little bit of a dent in the second moto, so it's hot.
Race for the lead, the sand whoops right there. You see both riders still going through them just as fast this lap as the first. Grant Langston, Mike Alessi, two factory pilots. Now, what are your thoughts as we went to break? Let's take a look at this one more time. What happened to him? Did you just lose all momentum?
Yeah, he got in there and just didn't have his foot out in time. Front wheel he was leaning a little bit, didn't have the power. That's a tricky corner the whole weekend. There's so many braking bumps. By the time you get to the berm, you don't quite have the speed to get through the rut, and he just was leaning too much without the power. And, you know, like I said, it's hot. Those mistakes really take it out of you.
Grant Langston out in front of the Kawasaki. His time is waiting down. It's a 30-minute plus 2-lap moto. About 13, 14 laps, depending how fast they turn this last lap. There's the Monster Energy Kawasaki rider. As we complete one more lap of this race, I believe Erin Bates has Grant Langston mechanics down in the pits.
Dan, it looks like Grant's had a couple of weeks off to recuperate his ankle. He's back to 100% out there?
Not quite 100%, but he's been feeling really good this week. His practice went good last week, and hopefully everything can stay together and good. And just keep going forward.
And Grant Langston, I don't want to bring this up, but sometimes mechanics, you always hear they have a hard time, or Grant had a hard time with the team. I've known Dan for a while, and he says, man, that's the easiest guy to get along with, no problems whatsoever.
Yeah, look at this. Another move by Josh Grant. Tedesco, like I said, it takes a lot out of you when you go down and trying to get your rhythm back with the heat. Earlier this morning, it was beautiful out. Nice breeze, but it's heating up. And that mistake cost Tedesco another couple of points.
Last lap, we're on our final lap of this. Kawasaki's still out in front. Now, I was wondering, and you and I both are wondering, was he just biding his time, Alessi in second? But it looks like Langston has it for him in this moto.
Well, you know what Langston could have been doing is going, okay, this is the pace I want to run. I could go faster, but he'll probably just match it. Unless he pressures me, I'll just stay right here. And if he starts to make a move, he'll just pour it on and use that extra speed he's been saving, and looks like that's what he's done. I don't think Alessi's got an answer for him.
Number 8, Kawasaki, national champion, trying to make it his second national championship, but add along that world championship as well. I'm going to throw a what if at you. What if, you know, they wouldn't have got together Alessi and Langston at that first stop?
Well, then Grant would be a lot closer in the points championship.
You don't think he'd be ahead running away with it right now if he were healthy?
That's a tough one, but I think Brown would have still had his great day at Mount Morris, and he'd have been strong just like he has been, but he just wouldn't have as big of a points lead. These guys would be in a dogfight like they were the last year when they battled all the way to the last round of Delmont.
Well, you see the mechanics out there waving along their improvised white flag. We're on the last lap of this 125 moto number 1. Grant Langston has Mike Alessi not backing down 1 inch just behind him in second.
Got a pretty good gap over third. There's not much risk left to the racetrack. The toughest part left is the sand loops, but Grant's been fast there, so I don't know. Alessi's closing a little bit, but I think Grant's just trying to play it safe.
You don't want to play it too safe. You know, unless he's just waiting for a little bobble, maybe a little retribution for that first stop in Hangtown. And look at there. Oh, he almost gets it there, swapping out. The Kawasaki is now the KTM closing in hard. Langston only has a couple of turns remain, and now that really has to charge up Alessi, but I don't know, Dave. I don't think he has enough time. He definitely doesn't. Kawasaki takes the victory, but it was a close one.
Almost blew it. Alessi was right there to take advantage. You can't count that kid out. He's young, he's a rookie. There's Larry Brooks, the team manager, clapping, going, good effort.
Yeah, waiting to not give up. He's a rookie, but man, this guy knows how to win. We'll talk to him when we come back. National, moto number 1 of the 125cc class is in the books. Now let's go down to the podium and listen to Grant Langston.
Grant, a great way to bounce back from a horrible moto number 2 at Budds Creek. How's the ankle feeling? You've had a couple weeks off for recuperation.
Yeah, you know, every time I race, it gets better, and finally felt like this weekend I could kind of get back to attacking the left-handers and putting my foot down, and it didn't really bother me much. So I'm hoping that it's, you know, kind of out of my mind and just, you know, head on and try win races. You know, I'm a little bit behind in points, but, you know, I really wanted to come out here and try and get a good start, which helps a lot, and get the win.
When he's making up those points in bunches, we take a look at the Suzuki results. Langston, Alessi short. Grant and Tedesco drops back to 5th spot. Nathan Ramsey back in 9th, and we thought he was the factory KTM hot shot, but it's the 800 of Mike Alessi.
Mike, you started to make a hard charge on Grant. You almost caught up to him. What were you waiting for there?
You know, I just sat back and sat on him to try to push, but he's riding a really good race, and saved a little bit for the end, and I caught him last 2 laps, and right at the finish line, you know, he made a little bit of a mistake in the whoops, but almost got him, but...
You had a really great race at Budds Creek, but an unfortunate event happened. You had Mr. Hepler run into you at the back. Does that play in the back of your mind when you're racing out there? Are you looking for him? Are you thinking he might be coming at you?
No, you know, that's racing. I didn't see it happen, and I guess I had one coming for me from Supercross, and so we're even now, you know. And either way, you know, I like racing with Broc, and I'd like to keep it clean from here on out and, you know, have some good racing.
Still has a smile on his face. Nobody does more to protect your rights to ride than the American Motorcyclist Association. Every racer on the track is an AMA member. How about you? Call 1-800-AMA-JOIN or visit AMADirectly.com. The AMA, rights, riding, racing. Now let's go into the mind of Brett Metcalf.
I've gained a lot of experience. It's been a hell of a trip, even just to get here from when I was a kid to now. It's been a hell of a ride, and I think just being here, you know, it's like a dream come true almost. Now I just got to fulfill that dream and win some races. So I've ridden KTM for 5 years, and I felt like I needed a change. And you know, Yamaha obviously wanted to push a new 2-stroke out there. And you know, I was riding 2-stroke over here, and everyone else is pretty much riding 4-stroke. So it's hard for a guy to go from a 4-stroke back to a 2-stroke. And, you know, I was one of the only guys left, and I was willing to ride. I was stoked, you know, that gave me the opportunity to take it on. I've never even put a leg over a 4-stroke before, so it's hard to justify whether it's that much better or not, because I have actually no idea. But you just got to be really aggressive and pass people, like, really fast. You have to be super fast in corners. You have to be able to scrub all the jumps off. I mean, to be competitive on a 2-stroke now, you really got to ride your butt off. Yeah, I'm the only 2-stroke guy, and I get a lot of press off that, so it's awesome for me. I mean, it's putting me up onto another level where I haven't really been before. People are starting to recognize me, which I'd never had before, so it's awesome. I definitely see myself as a dark horse, regardless, you know, of the 2-stroke thing or whatever I'm riding. I'm going to be a dark horse. I know my speed's great. There's no reason why I can't do it.
But the question is, how long will he stay that way? There's no question in my mind that 4-stroke sits a little bit faster. Moto number 2 when we come back. Jobs EP, they also love Mike Brown, and Erin has him now.
Mike, having a rough break, moto number 1, working your way all the way up from 18th to 10th place. You had a bad start. How difficult is it to make a pass if you get a bad start?
It's pretty hard, you know. The guys are, you know, it's hard, really. They weigh the track a lot, and they got one line, and yeah, it was just, I ripped all my tear off the first lap, and, you know, it was over, kind of. You know, it's hard to see when you got behind somebody, but, No, it'll be good this time, I think, if they don't water it too much. They water it too much here for sure.
What are you going to do different in this moto than you did Moto 1?
Hopefully get a better start.
Good
That's it. I think the start will be good. If I can get a good start, I'll be all right.
Great, good luck.
Thanks.
Yeah, and that's the case. If you don't get to start in this class, there's so much depth. Look at all those names. I mean, how are you just going to pass all those guys? You got to be having a great day and a great start. And if you don't get to start, you've got to take chances to get to the front. I don't think he's willing to do that with a point lead.
As we look at that Honda starting grid, I noticed the first time we saw him when he was in 16th, Nathan Ramsey was just in front of him. Nathan finished just in front of him, too. It's different when you have to pass a guy like Nathan Ramsey. It makes the track twice as tight because he's taking up one of those fast lines. Moto number 2 about to get underway. Same format, 30 minutes plus 2 laps. Grant Langston won the first one. Let's see the start. You see the very inside line of Mike Alessi get squirrely and get shut down as well.
Tedesco once again up there. Goes Alessi.
Oh, foot dab somebody on the inside going down.
I think Millsaps might have been caught up in that.
Well, yep, might have been Millsaps. I'm looking at Alessi back at third, but Ryan Mills sneaks in there second place right now behind Tedesco.
It's a great opportunity for Tedesco. I mean, this guy is just impressing me more and more. You know, Brown did that at first. I was thinking, I don't know how Brown's going to do. He might start good and run into a few snags, and he's just gotten stronger and stronger. And Tedesco is doing the same thing. He's putting himself in position to maybe win this championship. He's been the most steady.
He's my dark horse. I think I've known Ivan for a long time in the Southwest. You know, I see him. I'm from Texas. And I've always picked him as being a Supercross champion. He's done that in the 125 class, but he's really impressed me this year on the outdoors. I've never seen him ride so fast outdoors as I have this year.
Well, I think he might have just changed his attitude a little bit and went, you know what, I'm not just a Supercross guy. I race motorcycles in the dirt. And it doesn't matter what configuration the track is. I got to be fast. That's my job, and he's done a great job to make that adjustment this year. Oh, and he makes a mistake. So
looks like
Ryan Mills.
Oh, keeps it running, but Ryan Mills takes advantage of that. Now he has his teammate just behind him in Mike Alessi. But just as we were talking about how good he was riding, a little bobble there, a little mental error. Just, hey, it's racing. You know, he kept it running.
You know, they put a little, you can see they wet the track just a little bit, which is good, but every once in a while it makes it a little bit more slick, and it's caught him off guard right there in that ride. That might have happened whether the track was wet or not.
Ryan Mills from Clintondale, New York. I expect this maybe at our next stop at Unadilla, but Red Buddies, we're already starting to get a preview.
Good opportunity for Andrew Short. Podium spot in the first moto, and here he is in the second moto, same situation. So there's a lot of guys who can smell a personal best or maybe an overall win here. I can't believe how many riders in this class have yet to win an overall national. They're all due, and it's bound to happen sooner or later.
And now we see Mike Brown. He got that start he was looking for, David.
Not a great start, but a good one. At least he can see the leaders right here. He's working on Tedesco, who already made one mistake. Drifts a little wide. He's like, oh, there's another one.
And Ivan should have seen that coming out there, too. I mean, Mike Brownie was set up perfectly, and Ivan had to back down. Now he's picking them off one at a time. He's already into fifth.
Yeah, I think he understands that, you know, everyone's going to have their moto, their bad start, their fall, their mistake. Man, Tedesco was having LA's first lap here.
Yeah, he almost like, can we start and do this over again?
Yeah, I need a do-over, you know, to get the whole shot and make a mistake and a couple more. It might make him mad, which would be good. He'll get back in there where he belongs.
He's just got to regroup and settle down. Mike Alessi and Ryan Mills going at it. It's Mills, though, that's out in front leading this thing, going for that first moto win, and Alessi is all over him. He's already got an overall championship. Ryan Mills, his best moto finish of the year is a 5th. His best overall is a 6th at Mount Morris. So impressive right now. He didn't do too bad in the first moto. A 6th place in moto number 1.
You know, Alessi's back there just going, get out of the way, get out of the way. I got the overall, dude. Get out of the way. Hey, get second behind me. That'll be your best moto finish ever. I'm battling for the title. I'm the #1 guy on the team. Get out of the way. Get out of the way.
We're on the same team. Come on. Can you hook your brother up?
Mills going, I want to win. Heck with you.
I think that's right. And as far as Larry Brooks, what's he thinking right now? He's saying, let it by, probably.
He's like just happy that he's running 1-2, I'm sure. He's probably going, man, I wish Ramsey could get in there as well. And I think I saw, I mean, it's an army of orange shirts over there at the KTM ring. I think some of the hot dogs from Europe, the brass, they're here. And I I think they're liking what they're seeing right now.
Yeah, I think it's President Bush's birthday. Not George W. Bush, but President Bush over at KTM. I believe it's his birthday, so they're all celebrating. And they're looking to celebrate with the moto win and maybe an overall win, as Alessi is definitely in the running for that. A second, the first moto second right now would give him the overall.
Depends on how Langston gets up in there. It's still too early in the race to tell. With moto win, that extra point makes a big difference. Alessi to secure an overall win, and then we're putting the cart in front of the horse here a little bit, but he needs to win this moto, and he can. I think he's ridden enough with Mills to go, I'm faster than him.
Andrew Short in third. But, and again,
off the track again,
same spot. What's happening there?
To the KTM, I'm not sure who that was over there. Just puts his arms up like, dude, come on.
Well, what are you doing?
That's twice. But I saw Hepler and Sipes, and there's been quite a few riders that have actually made that mistake. The left side, you can see it over there at the left of the screen, is lower, but it entices you to go over and use that line, but it aims you right off the racetrack if you're not careful. Yeah, with all those ruts, you take that outside when it's bound to be sending you off on the outside of the track there. That's a tricky section. As a matter of fact, yesterday, Carmichael just KO'd himself just about going up that thing. So, track is technical, and it is hard to spend all day for these guys right now.
Two Red Bull KTMs out in front. Can they stay that way? Stick with us. AMA Motocross Series by FMF. This is the Monster Energy Kawasaki Red Bud National. We're in the 125cc Moto number 2, and look who's in the lead. Ryan Mills on the Red Bull KTM with his teammate Mike Alessi just behind and looking to put a charge on for that number 1 position.
You know, I got to hand it to Mills right now. That it's, you know, he knows how to ride, but when you're leading a national, and sometimes it's just hard to ride your best with the extra pressure and everything, and he is riding spectacular right now. He's not making mistakes. He's charging everywhere. He doesn't look nervous or tentative at all. And I bet you Alessi's back there going, come on, man, why do you have to pick this moto out of all of them to ride so well? You know, because if Alessi can get by him right now, he pretty much put himself in a position to win the overall. I know he's thinking that. He just can't yet. He's got to be patient and realize they got a pretty good gap over third. He needs to just wait it out.
Alessi's in position for the overall right now with Andrew Short in third and Langston just behind. But right now he needs to make up points on Mike Brown, who's still just a few places behind. Let's go down to Erin Bates. Erin, what do you got for us?
Ryan Mills leading up front right now, probably the first time that we have seen him lead at a moto race. Very exciting for this kid. Got to tell you a funny little story. Friday night, I was actually at a layover with Ryan Mills at the Atlanta airport. We were stuck there for 7 hours, and we got in at 5 in the morning. But regardless of having no sleep, it really seems to be paying off for him.
So a good luck charm or something, I think, Erin Bates.
Oh, you rub up against Erin, that's always good luck, right?
Yeah, I think if he wins this moto, he might just want to start getting his travel arrangements synchronized up with old Erin, you know?
I don't know what her husband Andy will say about that, but we'll see. Andy's probably down. He's a KTM guy himself. All for the team. Here we go, though. Ryan Mills still another lap down and almost going off the track. It goes off the track. There's that same jump. Every time we see him jump off it, it finally bit him.
Man, you know how he got going fast. That was impressive.
On a 4-stroke.
Yeah, he kept it running. I don't know how he was able to get going so fast. Still in second place, but now after a crash like that, boom, the energy catches up with you. You realize how hot it is, and then while you're trying to recover, he's got fresh pressure. Now watch, he jumps into the rut, he's off balance, boom, off to the side. The way he went off the track, right over the handlebars, I thought, well, he's going to be there for a while. There's another look from the top. APM guy over there clapping his hands, going, oh, great, oh, no.
What happened? But the one thing was his legs stayed tight to the bike. I mean, if that were me, boy, I'd have done the flail, the flying W coming out there. He was still trying to save it. He dropped back to third. He drops back to third, and now it looks like he's even battling for fourth right now.
Yeah, that takes a lot out of you. You lose your rhythm, and all those guys are just breathing down your neck. It's difficult to hold them off. Brown looked like he had him. Alessi's a fighter. He fought right back and got him. Here comes Brown again.
And he looks over and says, you've got position, take it over. Smart move on Alessi's part right there.
Yeah, he could tell on the way into the corner. He looked over. And he looks around a lot, but right there you can see why. I mean, he needed to know whether he could cut into that corner or not, and decided not to, just to avoid the contact and not go down again. He knows Brown. You know, they talked about they ride together and they're somewhat friends, and I think he understands Brown's his ambition to win a moto and get in there and take the line away from somebody is just as strong as Alessi's. And you know, these guys, they know each other too well, and Alessi just had to back down. Brown, a lot better moto this time, but he's still losing some points.
Brownie into 4th place now, and he's trying to gain as many points as he can. He lost a ton with a 10th place finish in moto number 1, but it's still Ryan Mills now with is it a comfortable lead? We'll have to find out and wait till the end of the moto, but Mills is leading at number 37 on that Red Bull factory KTM. Let's go down to Erin with his mechanic.
Derek, Ryan's on a tear right now. Tedesco went down the first lap. He's taken over first place position. Do you think he's a little bit nervous being up front?
Yeah, for sure he's a little bit nervous. He hasn't been up front most all year, but I mean, he's been riding good all year. He just hasn't gotten the brakes, and today it looks like he's got a break. He loves his track, so we all got our fingers crossed. We'll see what happens.
We're hoping that he caught up on some sleep, because we were talking about earlier how he didn't get any sleep. We got in at 5 in the morning, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him at all.
Yeah, I'm going to keep him up all night Friday night if this works out.
I know what you're thinking. You go, wait a minute, that's Chad Reed's mechanic.
No,
I got those guys mixed up when I first met them. That's Darren's brother.
The difference between Darren and Derek Sorensen. Now it's time for our Suzuki riding tip, David.
You ever wonder what to do when you got ruts like this all over the place, full of braking bumps, leading into a left-hander? We got a perfect section for you to try to figure out just how to deal with that stuff. When you finally get to the corner, there's more than one rut. So what's the best line? Let's take a look at Ryan's side. Coming down the hill, weaves in and out of the rut, takes his time, and gets into the corner with a nice transition. Doesn't try to come in too hot, hit the berm too hard, lose his drive. Nice contact to the berm, on the power, using the clutch to keep him from bogging, keep his foot up off the ground. The key is to have a good entrance, a good apex, and a good exit. That's the Suzuki riding tip. We'll be right back.
AMA Motocross Championships have been brought to you by Suzuki. Lightweight, superior power, incredible handling. It's why champions choose Suzuki. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. The waning moments of this 125cc Moto number 2 here at Red Bud Track and Trail in Buchanan, Michigan. I'm Robbie Floyd with David Bailey, and it's Ryan Mills leading this thing. Early leader, Ivan Tedesco. Man, having a tough time with this Moto 2.
Yeah, he's going to go back and be like, man, if I could just do that first lap over again, I'd have had a great Moto and maybe a chance at the overall win. But he's rebounded. He's just trying to hold off Andrew Short, or Josh Grant, that is right now. Josh looking for another solid ride like last year. Not going to have quite the red ride he did, but still a decent one. You know, he's not going away. Still in the championship fight, making progress.
Grant finished just in front of him the first moto. Ivan Tedesco finished 5th in the first moto, and he's struggling to hold on to that position now. Let's go down to Erin.
John, Tedesco got the whole shot. He led most of the first lap, but he's already dropped back to 6th place. What happened?
He actually made a bobble, and he actually fell and landed on the ground, but he kept the bike running. He got back up and stayed in the top 10. So he's going again, so hopefully he can stay up there and go.
To be able to pull it back together.
I hope. He's a hard charger. We'll see what happens.
In that moto number 1, he lost positions at the end of the race. I mean, you know, that really gets to you when it happens at the very end, when you hold on it for so long. Here, he lost them early on, so maybe he can kind of get back in that mindset and that charge mode again.
Well, you know, the thing is, he made a huge transformation into a much better outdoor rider this year. And, you know, along the way, you're going to make some mistakes. And today, he's fallen down a couple of times and made mistakes. He knows he's got the speed now. He's seen what it looks like up front. He'll just have to clean up some of those mistakes and stay there longer.
And I think it helps having Grant Langston, the second guy in your picture, a part of the team now. He knows what it's like to train with a champion, to ride with him week in, week out. It gives him a goal out there. I mean, throughout the week when it's not actual race time. And you see Langston, he's looking for that overall win, especially with Alessi hitting the eject button, popping off the track. He looked like he was good for the overall, but he moves up one more position. I don't think you're going to beat, 1-2 moto score.
Yeah, he's got a pretty good opportunity right here, not only to pick up points on Alessi, but also on Mike Brown and close in on the championship title race. And, you know, Langston's he's one of those guys, if he's out there, he can win. You know, it doesn't matter what the conditions are, whether he's injured, where it is in the season. He is somebody that you got to be worried about. He just doesn't ever give up.
I was just really impressed by his aggressiveness at the end of the Supercross season. I mean, he really started to turn it on, and at times he did here in the motocross, but Supercross, I mean, he was aggressive. He was fast. What we expected out of Andrew.
Yeah, Andrew's looking a lot better outdoors as well. I think it helps that, you know, he's been up there and he's starting to believe he belongs up there, and it helps he's got one of the best bikes, if not the best bike out there.
Factory ride, yeah. Definitely makes a difference having that factory red team behind you, but you've got factory green pretty much just behind you in Grant Langston. Let's go down to Erin Bates. I believe she has his mechanic, Dan Rambert.
Dan, Grant's in the position once again that he could make the pass, but he doesn't need to because he can still get the overall win. What does he do at this point?
We're just hoping he gets by, actually gets more points. We need to make up some points, and there's a couple more points to that place, so we'll see how it feels out there.
The more points, the better. The overall win here isn't the main concern.
More points towards the championship, the better we are.
Points, points, points. Do you think Mitch Payton has ingrained that in their head?
I counted about 6 times and said points. Look at that pass. Beautiful.
Oh, man. Went for the front tire there. Looked close.
Yeah, Andrew knew he was there and still couldn't do much about it. He drifted a little bit wide, and late in the race, with Langston on your tail, you cannot do that. So there's a couple more points.
Yep, and making up position also in second place right now. Let's take a look at it one more time. This is a really close call, it looked like.
He just goes for it, almost washes out. Langston, that is, on the inside. That's one of those kind of Hail Mary, I'm going for it passes. And Andrew was like, well, I didn't go around there that slow, I thought. It's just, he didn't berserk it through there like Langston, and he was up a little high in the berm.
And it's tough doing foot dams, too, going that fast. I mean, the wrong little tweak of the ankle, I mean, we're talking about some damage.
It's good that he saved it because the front wheel got up over the top of that lift. Could have washed out pretty easily, but those guys are doing all that stuff way behind Ryan Mills, who's keeping it together. They're inching up on him a little bit, but I think he realizes I don't have to ride 100% from here to check the flag to win this thing. And sometimes that's dangerous. You back your pace down a little bit, try to be careful. You hit the track a whole different way, and you know, certain bumps start to grab you that didn't before when you're at full pace. There's the gap. It is getting a little closer.
Definitely narrowing, but it's not going to be close enough as the checker flag comes out in a season of first in the 125 class, and Ryan Mills takes his first ever victory in AMA Motocross. As we take a look at the Suzuki results, Langston's going to get the overall short in third. Another podium for him. Mike Brown works his way into fourth spot. But it was Grant Langston who makes up some points here in Moto number 2. A little burnout up on the podium. Nice little burnt rubber action.
Yeah, that's all great and everything, but Erin Bates is standing back there getting smoked out, going to the lead. Here's another look at how we got here. Mills with the lead, Alessi breathing down his neck, smelling an overall win, goes up this big technical, I don't know what they call it, but
just a jump, David.
I'm sure that Alessi has a name for it right about now. That was his chance of an overall win. We got to hand it to him, though. He came up that thing, got all squirrely over the handlebars, a pretty nasty crash. Gets up, doesn't stall the bike, gets back on it, takes off without losing his position.
Then we look back a little bit further. It's the Honda just in front of Andrew Shore, but knocking on the door was Grant Langston. I like this part. Listen quietly. Hello.
Yeah, just blasts through that corner, takes a big chance, almost loses the front end, but picks up a couple more points on Short, who's going, man, I didn't think I went through that slow. He just didn't take as big of a risk, didn't charge it as much as Langston.
And we look at the overall results right now. 1-2 moto scores for Langston. Mills, second place, his best ever finish in AMA Motocross. Short finishes in third. Let's go back down to the podium and Grant Langston.
Grant Langston once again taking an overall win. Grant, congratulations, your third of the season. How does it feel? You're coming back from a nagging leg injury. This got to feel great for you.
Definitely, you know, I'm really pumped. And it reminds me a little bit of 01 when I had a shoulder injury and I came back and won the second moto here. And kind of got me back in the points. And I knew that's what I had to do today.
And there are the points. He does make up a few. A bad day for Mike Brown, but it's still Brownie out in front. But Ivan Tedesco not too far behind. Remember, I say he's my dark horse. But what about Ryan Mills? You think he's smiling?
Ryan, taking second place overall. How pumped up are you right now, and how are you able to bring so much confidence to the table this weekend?
Oh, you know, man, I'm ecstatic. It's unbelievable, the feeling, and that was the longest race of my life, especially with the defending Supercross champ breathing down my neck like that. I mean, a lot of pressure, and I mean, this is my first overall national podium, so, I mean, I'm so stoked, and, I mean, thanks to everyone who helped me get here, and I'm so glad I finally got in the box for him.
Andrew Short having his best overall result. Andrew, third place finish overall. How excited are you right now?
Well, I'm really excited. It's great for me and my team. And for the first time, it's pretty sweet. I've never done that good outdoors, and that was everything I had out there. And Langston was pushing me.
Yeah, you had quite the battle with Langston up to the very last couple of laps. What took place there?
You know, I just left the door wide open. I was trying so hard, and he got underneath me. I was a little disappointed, but, you know, I have no regrets. That was everything I had, and I'm just thankful to be up here on the podium.
Two guys we'll see in the upcoming months. Short in Colorado, also Mills at our next stop in Unadilla. Mike Alessi had a bad day, but he's still in the running for this championship. On behalf of David Bailey, I'm Robbie Boyd. Thanks for watching the 2005 AMA Motocross Championships. Our next stop in the 125 will be Unadilla, New York. So until then, kick back, ride some moto, and we'll see you.